Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step project, Chapter 61, in which I, Glenn Gers, the owner and operator of Writing for Screens, takes you step by step through my process of writing a TV hour-long drama pilot script from rough notes through to finished draft. We are currently writing the rough draft, and every Monday through Friday, if I can, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will let you watch over my shoulder and talk about what I am doing as I figure out how to make this mess of ideas into a script. We are going to go step by step. We're now in scene like 5, I believe. And at the same time, of course, if you want to ask me anything while I am here, you're welcome to do that. That is great. And if you are watching this in a recorded version, you can still ask a question. Go to writingforscreens.com at any time. It is a website. It's open 24/7. And you can press Contact Me, and that will do it. You will contact me. You will get a little form there to turn into an email, which will go directly to me, and I will directly try to answer it within a day or two, a couple days. It's getting a little busy around here, which is a fabulous side effect of growing popularity. Who knew? Hello, everybody. Hello, Butte. Hello, 99 Precinct. Hello, Foam Heart. Hello, this is Kitschy. Hi, all of you. Welcome, and all the other people. There's people here who have not said hello, but I see that they are numerically here. Anyway, it's great to have you guys here. I am really grateful. It makes it much more fun to do this. And it's about time to actually get to doing it, because I have introduced everything you need to know. For those of you who are recorded, oh no, I did not. Those recorded types out there, you who are not live when I'm live, or as far as this recording goes, we're hopefully all still live. You can still ask me a question even if you don't want to go to my website for some reason. I'm not hurt, but you can just go into the comments here of this video or any video upon my channel. Not any video on YouTube. I won't get that. But if you go to any video on the Writing for Screens channel and you type a comment, I see it. They just send me a copy of that right away. And I will try to answer it as best I can there in the comments or here in the ether. Okay. Hi, Ellen. Hi, John. It is so good to see all you guys here. Guys being, of course, a generic term for humans, not actual guys. All right. Let's just get to work, because I have done enough of the, oh, look at that. I have something there that's getting in the way. All right. So here's the deal. We left off in this outline. Okay. We left off, we had just introduced Norman. Now, as you can see from the outline, there's still stuff in the outline that I do not feel I have gotten onto the page, into the text in some rough way. And that is the goal of the rough draft. The whole point of the rough draft is just to get stuff on the page. So the outline is a checklist of things that I need to get into the script. Some of which I figured out, some of which I haven't. And this stuff I have not gotten into the script yet. So that's okay. It means I have to go back later and figure out where to go, because we are now on this scene. And what this scene, just to fill you in, for those of you who are not watching step by step, but just step in here and there. This scene is the first scene in which we meet the crime-solving online group. The I can't remember the words. The threads and the pins, yarn and pins. Anyway, corkboard yarns and pins. CSY. Oh, by the way, I thought that was clever. and I'm going to put that in right now. Where, I'm just going to do a search. Corkboard. Yes, I do. Okay. CSY. CS. Oh. CYP. That's not right. I was going to make it CSY and make it sort of sound like like CSI, but that didn't work. I failed. All right, that happens. Okay, so where we are is we are just meeting the group, and they are on Zoom. Norman is going to be jumping in to this group. He is running a little late. He is a regular, but he is running a little late. Oh, look at this. We got a new person. Wayward Soul. Wayward Soul. Hi. Love these. Cheers from writing. Hey, cool. Nice to meet you, Wayward Soul. Greetings and welcome. So what we're doing here is we are trying to figure out the scene. And one of the things I realized, and I wrote this down like about 15 minutes ago when I was setting up, was a good thing we can do is because Norman is coming into the scene late, we do not have to watch Xena catching everyone in the group up on everything that we've been seeing. We don't need to see her telling them that George is dead. We don't need to see her explaining about how the killer did it. We can come right in with them already debating what to do about the failure with Madeline. This is a marvelous thing. This is what you want to do. You do not want to have a scene where people talk about something that you just saw them do. Just saw them did. Because there's no news there. There's nothing happening if you're saying, hey, in this last scene, I just did this. Yes, you have to explain it to someone else, but just come into the scene late or find some way that you don't have to make the audience sit through what is essentially one character recapping for the other. So let us start with a new scene. Now, here's the question. I'm going to say, interior, Zoom group. Full screen. Zoom meeting. Continuous. Okay, so this is a tricky thing. How do you express that you are actually letting the Zoom screen take over the screen itself? This is one way. The other way you could do it is write Xena full screen Zoom meeting. Oops. Let's just try that. Now those are both, there is no proper way to do this. The thing that I don't like, this is tricky because in a production script, this is hard to understand. They only understand, in a production script, they only understand two things, interior or exterior. And technically, that's an interior. So we could do interior full screen Zoom meeting. Actually, that's kind of better. Of these two things, this one is inferior. It's not as clear. Interior, full screen, Zoom meeting. We all know that Zoom meetings happen on a computer screen or a phone screen or whatever. So therefore, to just say full screen Zoom meeting continuous, that is a good way to write that. I did good. We understand what that means. The point is, he's watching this on his phone. You know what I'm going to do? Just to make it even clearer, I am going to move this piece here. Okay, so here, now, what I did was I had ended with him just sort of like mentioning this Zoom room open on the phone. Well, this is redundant. He can watch the Zoom room. There we go. Less words, more clarity. Okay, so what I've done now is steered the reader's mind so that we are out in the room, we are in this repair shop, and Norman is saying, oh, I got to do this thing, hold on. And at the same time, he's taking his, oh, you can't see this. I can never tell what you can see here. Okay, so he's taking his phone and he's looking at it. No. There we go. Okay, he's taking his phone and he's looking at it, and at the same time he's giving them this, and so we are seeing this. And then, so that's what I'm describing here. And then by doing a new paragraph and saying we see Zoom room open on his phone, what I'm implying is that we've cut close enough to recognize what's going on here, and then we are cutting actually into the Zoom room. It is going to fill our screen as it would on the computer, a computer. Okay, that's a lot of explaining, but I did actually care about what I was doing, and you should know how this works. You're trying to just say things one time and steer the audience's mind through the thoughts. You're like telling them the story. It's really important to remember, in a sense, screenwriting is actual direct storytelling, because you are speaking first, your present tense to the reader. You're trying to say, like, this is happening. Watch this. They do this. They say this. So that's how I'm working it here. Okay, now I need to quickly check the outline. Who's in this meeting? Carl Dondowski. What's the other guy's name? This is what happens. Arvin McLean. Norman's window, wobbly and held. Okay. Yes, this is actually a very good way to understand it. And actually, it's also a very good way for those of you who are interested in directing, writing and directing. This is an important thing for you to understand if you're a director, which is you don't want to direct big picture. You want to direct, as Ellen says, like a GPS, in the sense of in a little while you're going to do this, but right now you're doing this, and that's all you need to know. And that is really important. And in a sense, that's how you also screenwrite most of the time, is that you just are in the moment and you want to just guide people in the moment, because that gives them a dramatic experience while reading. Okay. Anyway, so what I've done here, and this is a fair amount of screenwriting, is figuring out which words to put, which order to put the words in. I'm going to just say, sorry, typed in the wrong place. Hang on. Okay. Here's something for you to remember. I am giving you a lesson. Oh, seriously? Okay, let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. Okay, this is really important. A lot of the time when you're screenwriting, you're just trying to figure out how to say things. So, like, I need to talk about how we see, how we understand. It's like scene description. If you're this is a scene description. It's the beginning of a scene. I'm telling you where we are, and where we are is in a Zoom room. So this could be interior church evening, and then I want to describe, whether or not there's, a light on, and we all know what a church is. So that was sort of a bad example, but interior living room, there are 6 sofas and no other chairs, something like that. You're describing the scene. In this case, I am describing that Norman's window is joined by, and then I have to list all the other people. And in this case, I'm going to actually sort of stop. Instead of getting the scene flowing, he's been in one scene, we are entering a new scene. The experience of that would be boom, window, window, window. I see all these faces. I'll figure out who they are later. But in writing, sometimes you stop to explain who they are, because the visual experience of seeing a character's face is like a description, a complex description. We understand the character right away just from looking at them. It's part of the magic of movies. We get a sense of the character. And so you need to do the equivalent when you introduce a character. Even if they are not speaking or doing anything, it's a good idea to stop for a second and explain who they are. And this is very important. You do not want to get specific with exact shots, camera moves, or actor blocking. That is 100% correct. And you will notice I never, or almost never, talk here about how we're shooting it. As I said, I tried to imply by saying we see the Zoom room open on his phone. That's almost impossible to do without cutting or moving to a close-up. So what I really was saying was close-up, but I didn't say that. Okay. Carl Dundowski. Mid-30s. Full-on biker style meth dealer. Speaking in a riverfront warehouse. Decrepit, gosh darn it. De-receipt, decrepit. There we go. Okay. Meth dealer. Let's capitalize that so that nobody mistakes it for something else. Xena at home, along with Carl Dundowski, mid-30s, full-on biker-style meth dealer, speaking from a decrepit riverfront warehouse. Arvin McLean. Okay, Arvin he's a a low-level Wall Street do I want to say he's a trader? Is he actually a trader? Type. No, let's see, low-level Wall Street types. That's almost contradiction. A junior Wall Street type. Okay. No, he isn't wannabe. He's an actual low-level employee, and I don't want to say wannabe advisor because whatchamacallit, Madeline is she's an analyst. That's why I was trying to avoid making her and him sound alike, because she is a data analyst. He is actually a trader, first-year trader. Cool. Why not? I don't even know if that's a thing, but it sounds like a thing. First year Wall Street trader on Wall Street, speaking from his desk after hours. Okay. Okay. That's the question. I don't think, I don't know enough about the detailed hierarchies of Wall Street, but I want him to be someone who is in that trading floor environment, but I want him to be the lowest entry level of that guy. All right. Okay, so, now here's another thing. The odds are we will add a couple more people to this group, but right now, too much to deal with. So I'm just going to have these, because that's 3 new characters, and then here's what you do. See, what I did was I started with Norman's window, and then I did Xena because we know Xena, but I'm moving her to the end because she's the one speaking. So once again, we're steering the mind. You don't want to steer the mind. Norman, Xena, Carl Arvin, Nurse Shrimpton, back to Xena. It's an extra step. You want to just keep things so like you're getting things in your head. I got it. This person, this person, this person, and now Xena, and we're off into the scene. Not Norman, Xena. Oh yeah, I know who she is. New person, new person, new person. Oh, back to Xena. That is a lot of screenwriting is figuring out which order to put the words in, and by that I do not just mean order of the words in the sentence, although that matters too, but like what thing to say when. Okay, so there we go. All right, so whew. Okay. So now let's look at our outline. Okay. Shortest distance between point A and point B. Yes. More than shortest distance, just least number of letters. Like we're doing point A, point B, point C, point D. The one thing you don't want to do is point A, point B, point C, point D, point B again. That's the key. All right. So I can cut this out because we just did this. Okay. This is crappy dialogue, but at least it gets the point. I'm trying to get my head into the scene. So the point is, we want to hear, we want to understand what they're talking about. That's what the first line of the scene should be, letting us know what the conversation's about. But she was not having it. She didn't care about George. She hadn't seen him. Ah. Okay. So now what I'm doing, because if you recall in this outline, the point is she wants to get the files. She knows that the point of this scene is that she is explaining that there's these files and that she needs to get to them, but Madeline said no. And if I tell her there's a secret room under the house full of George's secret files, and she doesn't want us to help us, which she clearly does not, then she'll go and tell the police about the files, and then game over. Okay. Okay, so this is exposition in the form of argument. We are explaining to the audience what the situation is here, the thing that Xena wants and the problem that they are all going to be working on. So everyone's working on the puzzle. talking about? Okay. So clearly, one of the things, the important things that you are learning is when typing a screenplay, you make a lot of typos. It's okay. All right. What are we talking about? George? So now, so yes, this is information that we already know, but we are watching Norman, who is a main character, get caught up. So I don't mind, especially if it's kind of funny and there's some back and forth. And what we're also establishing is that this group knows each other, talks to each other, and George was part of it. I like that Norman's asking such stupid questions. Like, poisoned? Clearly was getting too close. He had the evidence. He had the evidence. He told us he was gonna drop it. Told us he was gonna drop it in his podcast. Chemistry set killer. He's alive. Okay, this is fun. This will be fun. This is fun dialogue. I personally love when you've got a bunch of people in a scene because they're all coming at it. This is actually a thing. One of the things I really like to talk about is that. Sorry, I got distracted by Ellen asking if Norman was distracted. I'll get to that. Every scene is built out of each character coming into the scene with their own point of view and goal. They have an objective. They are in this moment wanting to get something. Maybe it's just they want to make fun of the other person in the scene. Maybe it's that they want everyone to calm down. It doesn't matter. They still want something. If you watch a scene, everybody in that scene is wanting something, even if they're not speaking. But when they speak, they are speaking from their place in that combination of wanting things. So the most fun of dialogue is when you can keep their voices separate in your head, when you can say, he wants this, like Norman wants to catch up. That's all Norman wants right now. And then he wants to process this news. That's when we look at this scene, Norman here, he was catching up. He felt a little bad that he was out of it, so he was catching up. And then he says, what are we talking about? And then he's just, his lines are processing. He is trying to understand the gravity. He's also kind of turned on by the gravity of it because this is a story and he is a news junkie. He is a news person. So he loves that the stakes are raised. But he's also kind of like, really? We were not there. We were a bunch of people who were bullshitting about serial killers, just like you could talk about sports. And all of a sudden, The ball is in our court. Oh, that's so nice. I think of, how can I say that? Um, I'm just going to write that somewhere. Spare part. I'm just going to put it down here. That's a funny line. I don't know where I'm going to use it, but when you think of a funny line, write it down. Anyway, the point about this scene, the thing I was saying was I like, is when you get like two people, or ideally when you get 3 or 4 people in a scene, their dialogue starts to ping pong off each other in a really fun way. Yes, that is true. And then as far as your question, Alan, is he distracted by anything going on at the counter? You know, maybe at a certain point when we want that rhythmically, when we want a break from the scene, but the last thing you want to do is leave the flow. When you're writing a script at all times, even when you're describing things, you are flowing. You are trying to keep things moving, and then the last thing you want to do is stop to explain things and describe things and make sure that you've covered the fact that this other thing is going on. It's like, we don't care. We want to stay in the flow. And if this is not an important distraction because it's a change of the flow, you don't bother with it. They might add it in production. Who knows? Okay. All right. Okay. So we are covering material here about what's gonna the point of the scene. They're catching Norman up to it. George told me he kept his important files in a special secret basement of the house. He was. Okay. All right. I'm just making jokes here. I'm just writing. Uh, the point of this, although it is just making jokes, I am also trying to establish the point. The setup of this movie is Norman and Madeline have been lured into or gotten themselves into a community of people who are right on the fringe of total nut jobs. Um, and we need to have a certain sense of the fun of that and the wackiness of it. But the total bitch who's there now. I don't want to say there now because that's just a pain in the ass. That's just the total bitch he used to. Okay, the total bitch who's got control of everything now won't let me in. This is why we need to get over there and take care of business. Police bitch? No. Running the show. No, I don't think she is running the show. So that's a. So now what I need here is what I'm going to be getting to is we need Norman to feel something for Madeline here. But she is currently just an abstract thought. She's just this. Oh dear. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon because I have a student in 15 minutes. But I do want to try and figure out how I would like Norman to see something of Madeline. And I'm trying to figure out if it's possible that Xena would show them. This her? Um, Actually, I'm going to make this extra. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, this is good. We've got Xena to talk about Madeline, and then Dondowski pulls up her picture, and then what I did was we've been intercutting. We've actually been on the Zoom, and I'm wondering about that. Should I mention? I'm going to put this in here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just putting an overall description of how Zoom calls work in this script, and I do that. I'm putting it in bold and italics in order to take it out of the script. It's like a aside to the reader. Hey, you would know this if you were watching the movie, but since you aren't watching the movie, I have to stop here and make sure you're not thinking this is part of the story, that you're just saying, oh, this is how that's going to be handled. Okay, so now I'm also describing a little bit here where we focus on Norman. And I'm just doing that because, once again, I'm trying to steer your mind to say, this is an important moment. Norman is reacting. I'm not going to say stares at, because that's a little creepy. Takes in. Okay. And with that, I gotta go soon, so I'm just going to answer this question. How would you format internal dialogue? I'm not sure what you mean by internal dialogue. So let me know. Type it in here, and I will try and answer it if you can do it in the next couple of minutes, because I'm going to be going soon, because I got to go talk to someone who sent me a script that is hiring me to read it and talk to him about it. Anyway, this was good work. We actually got far more done than I thought we would. Jaime or Jamie, depending on how you pronounce it, let me know if we don't get to this, what you mean by internal dialogue. Please go to contact me and explain it, and I will talk about it here and I will also answer you there. But we are closing out the session with some success. Look at this. Look at all we got done. Look at all this great dialogue. And what's more important, we took care of a large hunk of explaining explaining is the way, the mechanics, the zoom mechanics, and all these characters. Okay. Whatever somebody's thinking, this is a great question. You very rarely do it. You try not to. The only ways that you should talk about how somebody's thinking is if you wanted to do here, annoyed at him. You could do it in what these are called parentheticals. And you could do that, but I would not have that run longer than a line. And the other way you can do it is you can do size annoyed at him, wishing he would go. You can always break it out and do it as a stage direction. Those are the two ways to do what you're calling internal dialogue, or what someone's thinking or feeling. Those are the good ways to do it. Note does not mean voiceover. Okay, it's time to go. I am going to say so long for today, and tomorrow we're going to do more of this because it's fun and we're learning and it's all good. So, see ya.